What's up everyone, and welcome to my first Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. So this is a battle against my bro NumbNexus, and it turned out to be a pretty decent one. So we've both got a pretty good team. We've got dragons. He doesn't have any fairies, which actually he has a Zoomerl. We've got a pretty even team, I can say. We've both got ups and downs, but we've both got that godly Tyranitar. So before we begin, I just want to mention that we took off all of the items except the Mega Stone for each of our Pokemon because we didn't have all of the items for each of our Pokemon, so we just decided to make it even. So the Mega Stone on my team is on Kangaskhan, and during the battle selection screen I noticed that his Mega Stone was on his Garchomp. So you can already see Mega Garchomp is a huge threat. And one thing I didn't know while playing this was everyone just said that Mega Garchomp, when he Mega evolves, his speed stat just drops all the way to the bottom from where Drake started. But the truth is, his speed doesn't go that much down. It only goes down like 20. It goes from like 330 to about 310, unless I read that wrong on Cerebi or something. But I overthought that, and I thought I could just beat him up, go for 2. Well, I'm not going to spoil it, but anyway, so I assumed he would start off with his Scizor, because Scizor could take on my Hydreigon, my Sylveon, my Tyranitar, and my Starmie with its stab attacks, which I know it will have Bullet Punch for sure, which will take out both my Tyranitar and my Sylveon if he uses it correctly. And I know he's got some sort of X-Scissor or U-turn or something, so I decided to actually lead off with my Hydreigon to see what he would do, because my Hydreigon has that Fire Blast. So let's get into the battle. So like I thought, he is going to start off with this Scizor, which was really smart of him, but I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Hydreigon like I mentioned. So Hydreigon, obviously, as my plan was earlier when I mentioned it, I'm going to go for the Fire Blast, and he's going to be a smart person knowing that a bunch of dragons, whether it's Dragonite, Hydreigon, or Garchomp, all know some sort of fire move, and he's going to take it nicely with his Tyranitar, because, you know, Tyranitar is the best Pokemon ever. And he's going to be able to counter, set up, do whatever he wants. So I kind of wasted this. Well, I didn't really waste it. I was actually hoping for the burn while it happened. He's got the Sandstorm up, and I actually go for a really stupid move. I go for the Draco Meteor, and my thought process at the time was, oh, it's neutral, so it should do a good amount of damage. But that was just stupid. My special attack goes down 2 stages. He rock slides me, and he gets a critical hit, knocking me all the way down to red. And the Sandstorm hits me enough to kill me if it hits again. So, or maybe not, maybe 2 more. So I decided to switch out. I'm going to save him for sacrificing later on when it comes in handy, instead of just leaving him out to die. And I'm going to go into my own Tyranitar. My Tyranitar is maxed out in attack and speed in IVs, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure about his EVs. I think he's maxed out in speed for EVs, but I'm going to be able to use Earthquake on him before he can use it on me, which is why he stayed in. And I'm going to be able to kill his Tyranitar. Well, actually, he's maxed out in attack and HP, but anyways, he's going to send out his Blaziken, and instantly I know he's going to go for the high jump kick. So to use Hydreigon to the max he can, I'm going to go and switch into Hydreigon, because I'll, 1, get rid of the useless Pokemon I have, and 2, give a possibility of wasting one of his high jump kicks, which could potentially get rid of half of his HP. But as lucky as I can get, he does hit it and kills my 15 hit point Hydreigon. So now my only option is to send out my Rotom Wash. I got it in a Wonder Trade, which is why it has a Japanese name. And he's going to go for the Flare Blitz, which I didn't think was smart, but I really don't know why he did that. But he does get the burn on me, which is going to play a big role. Well, not that big of a role, but it's going to be the reason I lose my Rotom. And I actually go for the Substitute on the same turn, because I didn't know I was going to get burnt. So his method of killing me is to stall the burn. So when I go for the Thunder Wave, he's obviously going to use Protect. And he's clearly not going to take the risk of going for another Protect, because a paralyzed Fast Fighter is not going to work out. So he goes into his Garchomp to take the Thunder Wave and make it have no effect. And predicting that, I go for the Hydro Pump. And I get lucky this time and actually land this Hydro Pump, and it does a good 60%. So I'm in a lucky position, and I can kill him with another Hydro Pump because I do live with 1 HP. So I do go for the Hydro Pump. I knew he was going to switch out into his Azumarill, but I was just too scared, and you can't always predict everything, because you're going to end up over-predicting. So I go for the Hydro Pump, and it didn't matter anyway because I did miss. Although all the other moves I had 100% accuracy. But anyways, that will take down my Rotom. And obviously, as a good counter to to this guy's Espeon, the only Pokemon I can send out is my Starmie. He has Thunderbolt, and I thought he would know that, but he decides to stay in. Thunderbolt wouldn't have killed him. It would have done maybe 75-80%, so it doesn't matter whether I use Psychic or not. And Psychic, now that his Tyranitar is dead, will be able to hit all of his Pokemon on his team, so I'll be able to use that again and take out his Azumarill. So my Starmie did a pretty good job there, and obviously to counter Starmie, he's going to send out Nappy, his Gengar, and actually predicted him to go for the Sucker Punch because all of Starmie's moves are actual hitting moves instead of, let's say, Calm Mind or something. And he goes for the Shadow Ball, which works just as fine. And I go for the Mega Evolution, and I go for the Substitute to scout out what he's going to use. And if he uses something that'll charge him up, then I can get a free turn pretty much, because that's pretty much what Substitute does. So I set up the Substitute, and he goes for the Sludge Bomb, which will break my sub. So I decided I'm just going to go for the Crunch. I had it the whole time, but I wanted to see if he would Mega Evolve or not, because I would be able to use Bulldoze after, which is something I have on my Mega Kangaskhan as well, because it'll hit twice, and pretty much give them the opposite of an agility, which will make me much faster, because my Kangaskhan is actually maxed out in speed and he's Jolly Nature. He outspeeds everything on this guy's team, which he did not expect. So when he sent out his Blaziken, I decided to go for another sub to see if he would go for the high jump kick or something, but he knows my plan and he goes for the Flare Blitz, even though it will hit him back with recoil. And he breaks my sub again. So I know that I outspeed him because of the Substitute, and I know he doesn't have any priority moves, so I go for the Bulldoze, and I don't even have to use Baby Power, Parental Blood, or Bond actually, and I kill him with the first attack, so that was good. And at this point, I'm feeling confident. I think I can win the battle, and he sends out Scizor. Now here I go for the Power Up Punch, and I guess he was expecting me to go for another sub. And Power Punch actually takes me down, so I can't use another sub, which I didn't know. But I do go for the Power Punch, and I thought this would do a lot more, but I guess it didn't. So he is going to be able to take me out with another Bullet Punch. I feel I should have went for the Bulldozer or something just to make him feel like he's going to be the slowest Pokemon. He won't be able to outspeed anything, but he's got my Mega Pokemon down, so that's going to be a big disadvantage to us. So I send out Starmie, forcing him to switch out using the U-turn because that's the smartest move to go for, and I switch into my Chino, the Sylveon, which can take the U-turn the best, even though he doesn't have the best defense on my team. So he goes for the U-turn. I somewhat eat it up. Probably does maybe, I don't know, 25% or something like that. And he's obviously forced to go into his final Pokemon, Garchomp. Now, at this point, he Mega Evolves into Mega Garchomp, and I thought I'd be able to outspeed him because I knew he would Mega Evolve. But it turns out that he is faster than me, and he's going to take out my Sylveon, and my only option is to go into my Starmie, because that's the fastest Pokemon I have on my team. Starmie is mad fast. He's like the Dugtrio, or he's like the water version of Dugtrio. So I don't have any ice moves. I go for the Surf instead of the Dazzling Gleam, which was probably the stupidest move because I thought he would switch out into a Scizor, but that would be the stupidest move on his play. So he was smart, just staying in, and that's the flaw with trying to predict all the time. You get over-predicted, and when they stick to a basic plan, you just get pooped on all over. So I go into my Tyranitar, and because of Mega Garchomp's ability, I think it was Sand Rush or something, his Earthquake and his Steel moves and everything do much more damage, so he's able to take out my Tyranitar. So he wins the battle, and I think if I were to use Dazzling Gleam, I may have been able to, I would have been able to defeat his Garchomp, and then it would just be my Starmie and my Tyranitar versus his Scizor. Now, I'm not sure if Starmie could have done much. Starmie probably would have taken a Bullet Punch, so he probably would have went to the U-turn or something. I wouldn't be able to take out his Scizor with my Starmie, but Tyranitar probably could have, but I honestly don't know. I could do a mock-up match or something, which is actually a battle you can do with your opponent while not with your opponent. The computer plays with your opponent's team against you, and you get to study their team and everything. Actually, you'll figure it out when you battle once. But Nexus, I had a battle with him before this. This was actually the rematch, and he's going to upload that battle to his channel, so be sure to check his channel out in the description. And also be sure to give me feedback on my layout and everything. I try to be unique other than everyone else on YouTube. Well, not other than everyone else, but I try to be unique and apart from everyone else with this Pokeball layout and everything. So if it gets in the way or you think it'd be better with just a more simple layout, then be sure to tell me in the description below. I think it's pretty well made. It took me a while to make, but that's going to be the video. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to leave a like, and I will see you guys later.